And we're live on a Thursday night. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the J Area Wrestling Show. My name is Jose Ramos Jr. Thank you guys for choosing to spend your time with us here on another live stream. It's been a minute since we've had this type of a format on the live stream. We've been doing a lot of the vertical live streams, which have been doing pretty well. You know, a lot of people have been tuning in, new faces, old faces, continuing to grow the J Area into something even better than I certainly could have imagined in the last year, and it's certainly in due in large part to viewers like you. So we thank you very much for the constant support and the constant love that you've been showing us here on YouTube. Big shout out to our chat members here. Tijuana Tacos already in the chat. Lord Jones says second here. What's going on? And Johnny, what's going on, my friend? Thank you for stopping by on today's episode of the JA Wrestling Show, where we recap what's going on in the world of pro wrestling. A lot to talk about. I mean, WrestleMania, literally less than 10 days, if anything, less than 10 days away. It's the 19th. Today's the 10th, if my math is right. If the math is mathin', you're catching me here on YouTube live. We're streaming, talking pro wrestling. If you're new to the live stream, my name's Jose Ramos Jr. I'm a big fan of professional wrestling, and the odds are, if you're joining us here on the live stream, then you are as big of a pro wrestling fan as all of us as well. Please feel free to drop in some comments, some questions, any concerns of yours in the chat below, and we'll get to those as well on the live stream. But I wanted to start with today's topic. You know, traditionally these Thursday streams have been a lot of throwback streams here. But I wanted to talk about what's going on in terms of the build to WrestleMania. It's been one of those builds that has been kind of divisive. Some people have been for it. Some people have been very critical about it. Me personally, I've been caught in the middle because pro wrestling, WrestleMania, that is when you talk about, it's like the ending of March, the beginning of April, and now it's April 20th, April 19th. So it kind of took a minute there when it come to the build. And I feel like people were very critical about the build because it's like we're now at the end of March, at the time, the beginning of April, and it really felt like we haven't kicked it into another gear. But I'm like, guys, hold on, pump the brakes. We still got more time because it's been pushed back. And now we're seeing stuff like the Jey Uso and Gunther feud start to pick up some steam. We've seen Tiffany Stratton and Charlotte, which we'll get to in a bit here as well, pick up some steam. And I think it's just that change in the calendar, change in the scheduling that has thrown everybody off. But regardless, hey, we're here on a Thursday stream. Johnny already in the chat here says, what did you like about Jey Uso's segment? Well, first off, I want to give a shout out to Sylvia here. It says, nice to have you back. Appreciate you, Sylvia. Glad to be back with you guys. It's always a great time to connect with you guys in real time during a YouTube live stream. So appreciate that very much, Sylvia. Shout out to you and Johnny as well, members of the Main Event Mafia. Johnny, what did I think about the Jey Uso segment? I was a big fan of it. I think there's been a valid concerns regarding the yeet aspect of Jey Uso. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm a big fan of Jey Uso. Love the yeet man. Love what we're seeing from him and the growth that we've seen in the last few years. But when it came to a feud, a match with Gunther, really, concerning the World Heavyweight Championship, you kind of wanted to see Jey Uso crank up the volume, become a little bit more aggressive, and intensify his promo style. And we saw that on this past episode of Monday Night Raw. He directly told the audience, hey, quit yeeting. He basically gave him the look. That one look reminds me of my dad. When you're doing something wrong, you're saying something wrong, and they give you that look and they give you the hand, and you're thinking, oh, snap. I got to stop what I'm doing. Jey Uso was that to the audience. He said, let me cook. Let me handle my business. Now it's not the time for yeeting. He came out dressed in black. Not looking to don any of the Yeet gear that he has available on WWEshop.com. Here's a cheap plug there for Jey Uso and his merch. All black. All business. Comes in and talks to Gunther, and one of the first things he says is, you got a mom? You got a mother? Because he was talking about how he had to address his own mother. How his own mom looks at him and questions, how could you let what happened to Jimmy happen on his watch? Essentially. Now, I'm a brother. I'm sure other people out there in the chat, you have siblings. There's a sense of responsibility, a sense of pride that we have in family when we're entrusted to take care of our own. Damn right we're going to take it personal when someone comes out of there and attacks our own. I look at that segment with Jimmy, Jay, and Gunther, and it was perfect. It's what the feud needed. Jey Uso already having these levels of doubt, questioning himself, can I beat Gunther? I've already failed 3 times. On 3 separate occasions, he was not able to defeat the Ring General, whether it was for the Intercontinental Championship, the King of the Ring tournament, or now the world title. He was not able to do so. And so now, if I'm Jey Uso, it's like, well, what do I got to do to beat him? And then you introduce Jimmy. And Jimmy wants to prove to Jay that he is beatable. That Gunther is a mere man. And what happens? What happens? Jimmy gets decimated by Gunther. Gunther proving to everybody that yes, he is the world champion, but he's also one of the most dastardly and vicious athletes on the planet. Took no remorse. With Jimmy. Zip-tied Jay as he was forced to watch his older brother by a couple minutes. But his older brother nonetheless. Get beaten down by Gunther. And I love when we see a level of emotion extracted from our baby faces. Because me personally, I want to become invested. And I know if I was in that position, whether Jay or Jimmy, as a brother, it makes you feel a type of way. And I look at that and it's exactly what Jay needed. He has the world championship opportunity, but now he has the drive. Now I have to beat you, not because I won the Royal Rumble, not because I want to win that world title, but because you attacked my own blood. And had it drenched all over his upper torso. He had the blood of Jimmy Uso all over him as a way to mock Jay. This is your blood. But for the purpose of this beatdown, it's my blood now. Gunther put on quite the performance. And then to see Jey Uso come out this week, again, all black, all business. Talking about how he's going to pray to God. Not for Gunther's sake, but for his own. He's going to ask for forgiveness for the person that he is going to become by beating Gunther. Obviously, I won't tell you who I'm thinking is going to win at WrestleMania. You got to stay tuned for the prediction video that'll come out next week. But I think we all, I would like to think we are all in a common agreement as to who should be the favorite to win this matchup. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm glad that a lot of people are starting to turn their head and say, you know what, this is looking good. It's looking pretty good. Because there are so many people online, and that's the thing. When it's online, you got to take it with a grain of salt. But there's a lot of people online complaining about Jey Uso, complaining about the build with Gunther, and now it's a little bit interesting. Now I'm seeing a lot of people get invested. And for the people who are critical of Jey Uso, saying his promo skills aren't the best, his in-ring style is not the best, criticizing his validity, his credibility as a main event star. I don't know about you, but I feel like this last promo really put to bed a lot of those concerns. Is it going to be the main event? No. But the winner of the Royal Rumble, when are they ever really the main event? I saw a lot of people upset about that, saying that, hey, if you win the Royal Rumble, you're the main event of WrestleMania. It's been proven to be false before. WrestleMania 26, title wasn't on the line as a main event. WrestleMania 27, they opened the show. 28, they opened the show. Doesn't guarantee you a main event spot. I will say maybe they shouldn't advertise it as such. Just say it's a guaranteed title match. But I digress. I'm loving it. I want to see how the go-home episode of Monday Night Raw is. To see Gunther and Jay, the final standoff before WrestleMania. If I had to bet, I'm thinking it's opening. I really think this will be the opener. It'll be a great way to energize the crowd for a big fight feel. And who knows, if Gunther wins, then you can always close the show with something positive. Or you can open up the show with this huge victory for Jey Uso and get the crowd going right. I think it's a possibility. But I'd love to hear from you guys. What are your guys' thoughts on Jey Uso and the Gunther feud going on? Were you a fan of Jey Uso's last promo, the beatdown by Gunther, against Jimmy Uso? I'd love to hear from you guys. What's going on, Muhammad? Thank you for joining us on the live stream. Johnny asks, what do you like about Drew McIntyre? Drew McIntyre's growth has been fantastic. I mean, for eagle eye viewers like myself and other members of the chat here, you probably can remember a time in 2009 when Drew McIntyre had a return as a member of the WWE roster. He debuted as the chosen one, handpicked by one Vincent Kennedy McMahon, who's no longer there. And to see his growth from then to being the Intercontinental Champion, a tag team champion with Cody Rhodes once upon a time, a member of the three-man band, and then leaving the WWE, winning the TNA World Championship at one point. To see his growth has been great. I'm a fan of Drew McIntyre. I think if someone were to tell me he was the MVP of 2024, I wouldn't be too mad about it. I think he had a stellar year. A great feud with Seth Rollins over the world title. A solid stuff with Damian Priest over the world title. And I mean his stuff with CM Punk. I mean, it was feud of the year. Both voted at the Slammies and a part of the J Area Awards. Check out the archives if you don't remember that. We did a little award show there. And you, the people, agreed that the feud of the year was indeed CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre. I'm a big fan of his. It was just announced earlier today, I believe, that he will be going one-on-one with Damian Priest at WrestleMania. It's a good call. I think it's a good call. I think it's the right call to have Damian Priest go against Drew McIntyre. These are two solid stars. Again, depending on your preference, some people aren't Damian Priest fans. But in terms of the last year of the story, it just makes sense. Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest were side by side during a War Games matchup. And then moving forward, the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania 40, Drew wins. Damian Priest cashes in. Drew McIntyre has a couple of chances there, but he's unsuccessful. One at Clash at the Castle. The other at the Money in the Bank pay-per-view. So in terms of the progression, it makes sense. It's solid. What do you like about Paul Heyman? I think he's the greatest manager of all time. I'm a big fan of Bobby the Brain Heenan in the 80s, the 90s, even the 70s. And he has a great list of stars as his clients, if you will. But for me, Paul Heyman, and I mean, maybe it's because I grew up a big Paul Heyman guy, and I watched him become the mentor, the manager, the advocate for a lot of the stars that I grew up watching. People like Brock Lesnar, Kurt Angle, the Dudley Boys, Rob Van Dam. Obviously now Roman Reigns. And even before them with the Dangerous Alliance. He was associated with acts like Steve Austin, Mark Calloway, better known as The Undertaker. So many names that I know I'm just going to lose track. His influence with ECW, the creative mind that is Paul Heyman, and it's even in his Twitter handle, Heyman Hustle. He's a hustler. This guy grinds. He finds ways to make it work. I mean, you look at the way he stepped into the business, hustling his way as a member of the sports media, because he kind of finangled his way into Madison Square Garden, taking pictures of the stars and pretending like he was a legitimate member of the media, but then getting his big break with people like Dusty Rhodes. And being able to have this ability to adapt to the business. He has become one of the most valuable members of the company in pro wrestling in general. I'm a big fan of Paul Heyman, which brings us to a great segue here because Johnny also asks about Seth Rollins. The Seth Rollins promo I thought was fascinating. We see a lot of attention, I think, being pointed in the direction of Roman Reigns, the OTC, and of course CM Punk and their drama revolving around Paul Heyman. And here's Seth Rollins, who's kind of dealt as like the third wheel in it all. Obviously, he has his business with Punk and his own separate business with Roman. But to see him in the ring with Paul Heyman and get physical with him, kind of push him around, push his buttons, just to elicit a reaction from CM Punk. And of course, there's bad blood between the two. So Punk comes out to defend his great friend in Paul Heyman. And Seth Rollins threatens to hit a curb stomp on Paul Heyman. Now, although Paul Heyman does kind of back up a little bit, obviously, out of, reflex, but Seth Rollins also takes his foot off the gas and tells Paul Heyman, great, now you owe me a favor. I don't know if that's how favors technically work, depending on the semantics, really. But it's interesting. We know Punk's favor is the, you're coming out with me side by side for my main event of WrestleMania. But what sense? What's his end game? Because we know he's not a fan of either Roman or Punk. I think there's a mutual respect, I would like to think, between the three. But there's that competitive nature where it's like he just wants to beat them both. They've caused so much headaches for Seth Rollins. Now, albeit the one with Roman Reigns was probably at the hands of Seth Rollins. He's kind of responsible for that one, given the chair shot all the way back on June 2nd of 2014. But the Punk one as well. I mean, hey, a lot of bad blood there. Happy late Thursday night. Appreciate you. Hope you're doing well as well. Thank you for stopping by. Sam in the chat as well. What's going on, Sam? Happy Thursday, everyone. Hope you're all having a good day. Likewise, I hope everyone's having a great week. It's Thursday. We're getting one step closer to the weekend. Hopefully, the week's treated you well. And now, as we're getting closer to WrestleMania, we're talking about that build. We mentioned about the Jey Uso and Gunther progression in their storyline. Obviously, Seth Rollins now, I guess, has a favor to cash in with Paul Heyman. Don't know what that's going to be, but there's been a lot of speculation whether or not Paul Heyman will be siding with Seth Rollins at the end of WrestleMania 41. At this point, when it comes to that triple threat match, I really feel like it's anybody's game. CM Punk certainly, I think, should be the favorite. Roman is Roman Reigns. I wouldn't be surprised if he got the W. And then you have someone like Seth Rollins, who's really the wild card. He's kind of between here, the third wheel, maybe even the fourth wheel if you put in Paul Heyman. So it's very fascinating to see where they're going to move forward with that matchup. But I am happy that they're going to main event night one. I would not have been opposed to seeing Rhea versus Io versus Bianca. I think that's just as great of a main event matchup. But I think it goes back to the stars. Again, no disrespect to Io, Rhea, or Bianca, but when you have Seth, Punk, and Roman in one ring, and then include Paul Heyman, it doesn't get any bigger than that. I would like to think so. No disrespect to the women there. I think they would have been a great option to main event, but hey, that's the way the cookie crumbles, right? What do you think about LA Knight and Jacob? That one's a tough one to call. Big fan of Jacob Fatu. Big fan of LA Knight. Yeah. Are they going to pull the trigger on Jacob Fatu winning that title? I could make the argument and say yes. But I also think there's a little bit of a possibility where Jacob loses. Could Solo Sikoa get involved and accidentally cost Jacob Fatu his matchup against LA Knight? I certainly think that's not out of the realm. Or are they going to pull the trigger in terms of my prediction? I did say that Jacob Fatu would defeat LA Knight for that U.S. title at some point. Although it was Shinsuke and there was a little bit of a break in between. He's the champion now, and I think there is a strong possibility that Jacob Fatu could win that title. Again, stay tuned for the predictions video. We'll have that up next weekend as we get closer and closer to WrestleMania 41, the grandest stage of them all, the show of shows. We're loving it. Rest in peace to Kevin Castle. My thoughts are with those killed in the mini New York time. We agree with Muhammad there. Thank you for sharing that, Muhammad. Anybody wondering how Carlito survived that spear? Dude, I don't even know. I saw someone take a screenshot of it, and they made it look like he hit a DDT, a vicious DDT on Braun Breaker. But the way that Braun Breaker hits that spear, I think is the best spear in the business right now. Nothing but love to Roman Reigns. I got a little bit of love for Jey Uso. Ricky Saints also hits a spear as well. Charlotte hits a spear as well. Rhino has the gore. But there's something about that Braun Breaker spear. He comes at you like a direct missile, right? Locked and loaded. This guy has his eyes on the prize. He's like a heat seeker. The moment he sees a heat signature and he's going straight for the torso. Braun Breaker like butter to a knife, cuts right through. And the way that Carlito sold that spear, and you got to give credit to Braun Breaker because when he hits a spear, he like over rotates and practically hits a somersault in midair to demonstrate that level of velocity, the ferocity in that spear. Come on, come on. I would hate to take that. I would love to see them bring out Carlito next week though, all bandaged up, have him really sell that effect, and just have him all bandaged up. That I think they got to go with that. Jake says liked and shared. Thank you, Jake. Appreciate that, buddy. Appreciate you liking and sharing the stream. What do you like about Finn Balor and Dominic Mysterio? You know, the Judgment Day for me has kind of been wearing out its welcome. I'm a big fan of all of them, don't get me wrong, but there's not a lot of progression in that story. And I know Triple H likes to, long game it. He's all about the long-term storytelling. I'm for it. I'm for it. So as long as the payoff is good, I have nothing really to complain about. I think Dominic Mysterio is one of the more entertaining heels in the business. Certainly his ability to elicit that reaction from the crowd is second to none. Finn Balor, I think, is an all-world talent that deserves more. He only had one World Championship reign in the WWE, and it lasted less than 24 hours. And since then, he has not been able to sniff, not even whiff, a little bit of a World Championship title reign. I certainly believe that Finn Balor deserves a lot better. Now, when it comes to the Judgment Day, I like what I see with the little hints of animosity and a little bit of deception here, maybe, by Dominic Mysterio. I do think one of them, and maybe this is a spoiler for my prediction video, but I do think one of the members of the Judgment Day is leaving with that title. But then you throw Penta into it. It's tough, man. It's really tough to call because just as the words left my mouth, as the breath left my lungs, I'm thinking about Penta, and I'm like, oh man, how could they not have Penta win? And if he does, he could pin maybe Dominic, or maybe he pins, Finn. I don't think Braun's taking the pin at all. I don't. But it's just difficult to call. It's multi-man mania. We have so many multi-person matches. We have the triple threat matchup between the women for the world title: Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, Io Sky. We have the men's triple threat, obviously Punk, Roman, and Rollins. They have a fatal four-way for the IC title. And then on Stand and Deliver, we're going to have a fatal four-way matchup for that women's title. Should be great. Jada Parker will be joining Julia, as well as, Stephanie Vaquer. I almost drew a blank there. They'll all be competing for the women's championship, as well as Jordan Grace. Can't forget about the Juggernaut in there for a fatal four-way. A lot of multi-person matches when it comes to WrestleMania. You want to fit as many people on the card as you can to get that WrestleMania payday, right? Stanford says the Killer Bees versus Iron Sheik and Nikolai Volkov, a blast from the past when it comes to WrestleMania 3, I believe is what it was, if I'm not mistaken. Comment down below in the chat some of your favorite WrestleMania memories or favorite WrestleMania matches. I would love to hear from you guys and your perspective and your opinion when it comes to WrestleMania matches. And also, for me, it's like music taste and movie taste. I like to hear from other people like, oh, you're a fan of this person, or oh, you're a fan of this match, and you kind of get a little bit of a taste as to what their taste in pro wrestling is. Do they like the hardcore wrestling? Do they like lucha libre, technical, Japan, strong style? All of these different styles of pro wrestling. I'd love to get the feedback and see what your guys' preferences are, especially in WrestleMania. There's been a lot of great matches at WrestleMania, a lot of great moments at WrestleMania. Make sure to voice your opinion down in the chat. Happy birthday to John Madden. Got the big franchise, Madden, the video game, and obviously a coach of the Raiders, Super Bowl champion. I believe it was Super Bowl 11, if I'm not mistaken. Shout out to John Madden. We now reached the part of the live stream here. We're going to give away some free memberships to the Main Event Mafia. Again, if you're a member of the Main Event Mafia, you're going to get access to exclusive posts, pictures, and also polls, and some early access videos that other people are not going to have access to. So if you're interested in that, make sure to join as a member of the Main Event Mafia. I'm going to go ahead and we get 10 a month, and I believe we already did 5. So we'll do another 5 here, gifting memberships to our viewers. And it all depends too, because sometimes you're already a member, you might not be able to pick. I don't select people. You know, this is all random. If it was up to me, it'd be a difficult choice to make here. So we're gonna go ahead and gift. I see you guys. Appreciate Lucha is life. Marked Eagle, John, Salvi, and Tyler. Welcome to the Main Event Mafia. You guys are going to be having access to those polls, pictures, posts, as well as early access to some of the videos that I post here on YouTube. Appreciate you guys always supporting the channel, as well as joining us on these live streams. And now is an opportunity to join in on the fun here and become a member of the exclusive member of the Main Event Mafia. We also are going to get some nice little championship belts next to your name. Look at the Johnny. Johnny has one, has the NXT championship. How's my day been going? My day's going good. It's going great. Worked all day. You know, we worked an early shift and didn't get out until like 7:30. Got something to eat, something to grub on. We had Popeyes. I'm 100% honest with you guys. Love Popeyes. Shout out to the family. And then we got here. And now we're here on live. So I was basically working all day. And it's like I said, this is my highlight of my day, being able to hang out with you guys. So thank you for asking, Johnny. Hope your day has been doing well. Why are there different belts? Tony, so that signifies the length of how long they've been a member. When you first join as a member of the Main Event Mafia, you're going to get the NXT Championship, obviously like developmental championship. Following that, I think the first month we'll get the Cruiserweight Championship. 2 months, I believe, is the United States Championship. 3 months or 6 months, I don't lose track of the numbers, but it's the Intercontinental Championship. And so on and so forth, until the ultimate goal is it's not a championship, but you get a Hall of Fame badge next to your name. So that is the difference in the titles there. It just signifies how long you've been a member with the Main Event Mafia. I believe if you go to the memberships and see the perks, it should give you the proper timeline as to what title means in terms of the duration of the membership. Thank you for the hearts in the chat there. Appreciate you guys as always. Hope you guys are doing good. It's a Thursday night, getting one step closer to the weekend. What are you guys' plans for the weekend? Anything exciting? What's going on? You know, let me know. I know me. I mean, hey, I'm always working, buddy. But here we are on a Thursday night. Johnny says, why do I got the championship belt by my name? Johnny, come on now. I just explained it, my friend. Let's go. You know what? I like getting a repeat and get to refresh my lines. The championship titles signify how long you've been a member of the Main Event Mafia. So if you're new to the membership, you get an NXT title. It's a developmental. Johnny says, how long have I been a member? Well, since you're the NXT champion, under a month. When you are a month member of the membership, you're going to get NXT championship. In 2 months, you're going to get the Cruiserweight championship. At 3 months, you get the United States Championship. And then again, I'd have to re-look at the timeline. I think it's 6 months, you get the Intercontinental Championship, and so on and so forth. There are different championship badges that will signify how long you've been a member. And again, if you go to the memberships and you see the list of perks, it should give you an explanation as to what championship means in terms of the duration of your membership there. And since we're on the topic of titles, go ahead and let you know, drop in the chat. What are some of your favorite championship designs? Obviously, you can see behind me, got the Winged Eagle here over my shoulder. It's one of the greatest titles of all time. For me personally, it's the greatest WWE championship ever. And it's only the second greatest title design in my opinion. I'm a big fan of the Big Gold, the World Heavyweight Championship / the WCW Championship. The very same title that individuals like Triple H, Shawn Michaels, Ric Flair, Sting, Goldberg, so many people have held that world title. It's the best title. It's the best looking championship. But for me, in terms of the WWE, the Winged Eagle, this bad boy, pretty damn good. My favorite wrestler, Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Hogan. Two contrasting styles there. I mean, two different generations, Hogan versus Austin. I'm much more a Steve Austin fan. I've always said, I get the hype for Hogan. And I get what he did for the business and how vital he was to the creation of WrestleMania and the Rock and Wrestling connection and just overall the growth of the business. I'm able to admit that. But taking personal preference into consideration. He was never my guy. I've always been a Piper fan. Randy Savage, those guys for sure were a little bit my style. But again, I'm never going to tell somebody like, oh, really, you like that person? Like, oh, you shouldn't. Dude, it ain't that deep. Everyone has their preferences, and I'm more than willing to hear them out. I also like Bray Wyatt versus Finn Balor. Both are great, and they had a couple solid matches. Bray Wyatt had faced off against Finn Balor when he was the Demon, and then a couple years later, the Fiend debuted and defeated Finn Balor. It's a shame that we lost Bray Wyatt so young. I mean, again, a creative mind in pro wrestling. One can only imagine what he was able to accomplish if he would have still been here. And then as for Finn Balor, I mean, he's one of the best too. I think very highly of Finn Balor, the formerly known Prince Devitt, one of the founding members of the Bullet Club, one of the more influential factions out there in pro wrestling, at least this, generation. I think very highly of Finn, and I hope that once he breaks away from the Judgment Day, he's able to acquire a little bit more success as a single star. Shout out to Tijuana Tacos. I see you, buddy. Not Taco Tuesday, it's Taco Thursday. What's going on, buddy? But we're talking about the build of WrestleMania. Jey Uso and Gunther, kicking it up a notch here. Another one that has taken the turn for interesting is Tiffany Stratton and Charlotte Flair. We did briefly talk about it on Sunday's stream, but I still can't get over the liberties they had taken in that promo. It has been revealed, again, we don't know if it's a credible source, but I've always said where there's smoke, there is fire. Some of the notes that apparently they were supposed to hit have been revealed. And it's like they really went off script. Apparently in the original promo, it was supposed to be discussed between Charlotte and Tiffany about how there's so many comparisons between the two, that Tiffany Stratton is the next wave in the WWE. And it's just that stereotypical, that cliche promo for wrestling. But once we got word of, Tiffany Stratton talking about the 3 marriages, the Ludwig Kaiser line, it really got ugly quick. And I'm all for it. I love seeing a little bit of messy, drama when it comes to pro wrestling because it kind of blurs the line. Really looking forward to that. But I want to see what we're going to be dealing with on SmackDown tomorrow, as well as the SmackDown prior to WrestleMania. Are we going to see some, real blows being thrown at WrestleMania 41? I would like to think so. Roman Reigns will be at Monday Night Raw. I would hope so. Yeah, he's advertised, I believe. And it's about time. I mean, Roman has to be a part of this build. Otherwise, it just wouldn't make sense logically if Roman wasn't being present. His wise man is on the verge of jumping ship to Punk. Obviously, what happened with Seth Rollins as well. It has to be there. Ready for Mania. Counting the days to head out to Vegas. I'm telling you, man. Let me know how it is. I'm super happy for you. Looking forward to it. I can't wait. As you guys already know, it's falling on my birthday weekend. We're going to be grilling up some burgers and hot dogs, watching the show. Can't wait, man. WrestleMania 41. Oh my God, I'm so hyped. So hyped for it. Tyler, I see, is using our emojis here, our little emoji that you can use as a member of the Main Event Mafia. You get exclusive access to those emojis in the chat there. It's got the John Cena one, Rhea Ripley, Roman Reigns, and my personal favorite, the CM Punk one. Great to see, man. But let me know how you guys are doing, man. How's everyone's night going? We doing okay? It's a Thursday. I know, we haven't been on a live in this format in quite some time. We've been doing a lot of the vertical lives, which have been fun. It's been a great kind of a learning experience as well as like an experimental experience as well. Because with those lives, we were getting more viewerships. We were getting more people in and just taking a peek at what we're doing here. But I wanted to try this one out. It's been a minute that you guys have seen the setup, and I like to show off, of course, the things that I've gotten over the past few years. And I mean, hey, I'm proud of them. But Johnny says, did you hear about Dennis the... No, I didn't hear about Dennis the Menace. No, I didn't even know about that. Do we know how? Hey, bro, I got online beefing with someone. Who you beefing with online, Tyler? Come on now, don't waste your energy with that. That's what I kind of stay. I don't want to say I stay away from social media, but I'm not as active on it. Like I'll peek here, then and now, but I'm not really as active as I could be. I think really YouTube and TikTok are the ones that really that I consume the most. It's probably YouTube and TikTok, and that I post on the most too. What's going on, Gabs? Gabs says I made it to another live. Appreciate you, Gabs. Thank you for stopping by. Went back to like the original format here. Something we haven't done in a minute. I'll get you a souvenir for show. Do you have a PO box? We do. We do have a PO box. It's in the description of the channel. So if you go to the About Me, you open it up and it'll tell you the About Me section. But I mean, yeah, I don't want you to feel like you have to either. I appreciate that. Online is so toxic. Yeah, that's the thing too. The internet is a great opportunity to connect with so many different people from different backgrounds, different experiences. But then there's this ugly side of the internet too, where it's just that toxicity. I feel like it's a big part of the reason why people they feel so comfortable to say certain things because they're behind a screen. They're like they say, the keyboard warriors. They're able to say whatever they want without, or maybe little to no, repercussions. It's a toxic place, and that's why when I look at it, when we started this channel, I wanted to take that away from the online community for pro wrestling, because there's a lot of toxicity out there, and I wanted this to be an opportunity for people to get away from that toxicity. Let's hang out, let's just talk pro wrestling, and then we'll go from there. And over the course of time, we've been able to forward a lot of great friendships. I would like to think we have the same list of people here that have consistently showed up to these live streams. I'm hoping are also watching the videos, but those have been doing good as well, so much appreciation there. But yeah, I'm with you. I don't got time for toxicity, dude. I choose to spend my time a certain way. I'm very selective about my time, so I don't believe in being negative or toxicity. If there's one thing that I've learned from my family and my parents, is that a moment of negativity is a moment wasted. I'm not going to waste my time doing that. We're trying to be positive. We're trying to stay positive, man. Come on. Now there's so much, great things to be happy about. And I see you, Gabs, using my favorite emoji, the CM Punk finger pointing. Tijuana Tacos with a thumbs up. Johnny says, what do you like about Conor McGregor? I'm thinking you meant McGregor there, but so as you guys know, I'm a big fan of pro wrestling, football, basketball, boxing as well. When it comes to MMA, I am not as knowledgeable, I will say. I'm a casual, but I do like the entertainment aspect of Conor McGregor. Take away his personal life, because that's its own thing. That's its own thing. But I will say, when he speaks, we listen. I think he's very entertaining. I thought he was great in the movie Roadhouse, but I can't really answer it, because I'm a casual when it comes to MMA and the UFC. I'm much more of a boxing guy, Any word on Randy having a match at Mania? Tijuana Tacos, he's gonna have a match. Come on now, Randy Orton sitting out of Mania? It's not gonna happen. The question isn't, is he going to fight at WrestleMania? The question is, who? And that RKO to Nick Aldis, man. Could it be Nick Aldis? I don't know. Could it be Malachi or Aleister Black? Maybe. Solo Sikoa? I don't know who it's going to be. I think we're going to get probably the answer tomorrow on SmackDown. But I would venture to guess that yes, Randy has to be at the show of shows. If a guy like El Grande Americano is going to have a match at WrestleMania, I'm sure you can squeeze in Randy Orton. And this is the reason why I keep coming back. I like how positive and your community is. I appreciate that, Gabs. And I feel like that's a real reflection of just the time that we've all put into this. I've said it time and time again. The channel itself may have my name on it, but I feel like it's just as much as your guys's as it is mine, because these live streams would not be what they are without you guys continuing to come out, voice your appreciation, voice your support, and it makes it all the while. I do have something. I don't want to give it away yet, but next Thursday, because we are going to be days away from WrestleMania 41, I have a special live stream coming up next Thursday. And you'll be seeing an update in the post. Keep an eye on those community tabs with so much more information there. So, but next Thursday, tune in. I won't be doing a poll because next Thursday, there's something special. We'll probably have that post maybe on Saturday, Sunday for more information on that. So stay tuned for next Thursday's live stream. Did Mike Tyson have friends? I'm sure he did. Everyone has friends, right? Hope so. I think Miro versus Randy Orton. Tyler, Tijuana Tacos is a good call. I'm not opposed to it, but how's the turnaround? Is the contract finalized? Are they going to be able to get him in? I think it could happen. But Randy versus Rusev is such a difficult one for me personally because whoever they're bringing back, if it's Rusev, Aleister Black, you don't want them to lose their first matchup. At the same time, it's like, do I want Randy to lose it? I don't know. It's a tough call. Will it happen down the line? Yeah, maybe. But WrestleMania is just, I don't know. I think Randy goes over. But it's like, who is he facing? Shout out to Big Neff Network. Welcome back to the stream. Thank you, buddy. Dion, Jose, my friend ever. Did I miss? Hope everything is well. Doing well, buddy. Glad to see you back, Dion. Glad to have you on the live stream. Everything's well here. Hopefully you're doing just as good. As Randy pins Cena 1-2, Nick Aldis cost Randy a title win. But Randy's not going to be in the title match. You know, he's not going to have a championship opportunity. I heard that his contract was signed. Yeah, but when are they going to bring him in? That's the question. Because, I mean, you look at a guy like Aleister Black. We'll just throw him as an example. I'm sure he's already signed, but when is he coming in? You want to be able to have these creative plans. So, yeah, I did see that Miro is signed. Obviously, Aleister Black signed because they wouldn't be airing those vignettes if he wasn't. But I don't know if they pulled the trigger on that. And again, I'm always the type to be like, happy if I'm wrong because it's exciting to get something that you weren't expecting. But my gut and just the logic in me after watching for so many years, I don't think it's going to be Rusev. I don't, because how are you going to book him to lose his first match back? Could happen. I could be wrong, but I mean that's just my gut. What do you like about Tyson Fury and Tyson Theory's brother? You know, Tyson Fury, I like his entertainment value. You know, his matchup against Anthony Joshua were good. But the heavyweight division hasn't been what it has been since the past. You know, recently we've had a lot of great heavyweight fights. But I mean, you look at the 90s. I mean, you brought up Mike Tyson as well. It's not the same either way. I like boxing, but even then, I feel like it's slowly a dying sport. Because it's become so, you know, predicated on the business and the money aspect of it. We don't really get great fights like we used to. On occasion, we'll be surprised. But it's not like what it used to be. Randy promo at Mania, then a special guest or debut, I'm telling you. Plus, he's already locked in for Backlash. We know Cody's going over Cena. But do we? Do we know that Cena's going to lose that matchup? I don't know. You know, I'm going back and forth with this prediction with Cody and Cena. That one's a tough one to call. I do think you could have the opportunity to have Randy Orton maybe have an open challenge. And maybe that's how you introduce someone like a Rusev or Aleister Black. And I think that's a possibility. Maybe someone from NXT, you know. Nick lets it slide until later in the year to get his revenge. As far as Mania, Randy kind of screwed. Somebody catching an RKO, though, absolutely. It's just a matter of who. What do I like about Rey Mysterio going to WrestleMania? It's Rey Mysterio. He's one of the greatest of all time, one of the greatest luchadors, and a pretty damn good guy after meeting him so many years ago. I thought they were... So, while watching the show, my mom asked me about Rey Mysterio. And it's like, where are we going to go with Rey in here? And I'm like, they're probably going to have him face El Grande Americano mask versus mask. Mask versus mask isn't announced yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if that was a stipulation added. I'm a big fan of Rey Mysterio. Sanford 5, is there a tier list of WrestleMania posters? There isn't, but we should do one. If that's something people are interested in, I'd love to do that. You already know if when you hear the click. Because there have been some good ones. There have been some really good ones out there. Randy versus Big Bronson. Oh man, Bronson Reed versus Randy would be epic. But see, that's the tough thing. It's because when you have someone returning, why would they have them lose? That's tough. I want to protect Bronson Reed. I want to protect Rusev and all these guys. So to have them make their debut or return, to have them lose, I don't know if I like that. Did you watch AEW Dynamite? Oh yes, I did watch Dynamite last night. I had to right after what happened at Dynasty. Yes, I did catch AEW Dynamite. Tiger Woods. I don't have an opinion on Tiger Woods. I don't really like golf, to tell you the truth. It's not that I don't like it. It's just not for me. I don't have an opinion. Cena beats Cody, hopefully. Then we get Randy versus Cena. Nick screws Randy. Punk versus Cena for the WWE title. I like your line of thinking. That would be fun. But I do think if Cena beats Cody, I think Cody wins it back later in the year. What's going on, Sean? Hope you're doing well. Bronson should be ready by SummerSlam. That's what I thought too. I mean, he's been out for a minute. Nobody knew his debuting till after Mania. They have no story for them. Bingo. It makes no sense for a new debut at Mania. I bet for a return. You know, and that's the thing too. Why not just wait till the night after for the Raw? I think certainly is a possibility. Would be so down to do a tier list with you, man. Hey, let's do it. Absolutely, I'm down. Randy might help Cody RKO The Rock. It's a possibility, network. I like that theory as well. TCJ, what's going on? I think Jey Uso steam has blown over. It's like after Rumble, it just becomes meh. You know, I'm all for having hot takes, but I don't believe it. I don't think it's blown over. The audience is still very receptive. The crowd is eating. They're still on his side. The only people complaining are, people online. When you watch the show on TV, I don't see that. If you were to take away the social media aspect of it all, Jey Uso's over as hell. I don't see the disconnect. Thoughts on Jericho leaving AEW? I think eventually it's going to happen. He's open to the idea of returning to the WWE. I mean, why wouldn't you? They're doing great business. He's going to go in the Hall of Fame. No matter what, Jericho has always said that, like, oh, I don't feel like I have to go in the Hall of Fame because I'm already in it. He wants to be in the Hall of Fame. Eventually he will come back, though. They always do. We know Cena versus Punk is happening. I would love to see that. Sanford says, I apologize in advance for you hearing our dog. Yeah, our dog's a little rowdy. Stone Cold helps Cody in Mania. Yes, Tijuana, I think if they get a little bit of a bloodline type of action where it's like The Rock comes in and helps Cena, then Austin comes out. If The Rock is not involved, then there's no reason to have Austin there. But I would bet on it, yes. Said, now you owe me a favor. LO chef's kiss from Seth the whole time. Yeah, and I want to know what that favor is. I don't know if they know how a favor works, though, because he, just like that, you got a favor? I mean, I don't know. A lot of drama heading into that matchup. I love it. What do you... it should have been Jimmy versus Gunther. LOL, more chemistry. Stop it. Come on, network. Can we see AJ Lee come back at WrestleMania? Not at WrestleMania. Not at all. There's no bearing on that storyline. I don't see AJ Lee coming back in the foreseeable future. Maybe eventually, but no, absolutely not. Ruling it out. Hoping The Rock does a promo via Titantron or something just to add to it because it's only one more Raw till the big show. I don't think he's going to, man. I think he shows up at WrestleMania. It's the big show. Come on, he has to be there. But I don't think he's going to be on Monday Night Raw. Jericho should be a heel manager at this point. He's good at being annoying. I agree with you, network. He's really good at it. He knows how to work a crowd. AJ Lee is jacked. Yeah, AJ Lee is jacked. Yeah, always been in great shape. Good for her. Dude, that slap by Jimmy Uso was ridiculous, network. I mean, that got me out of my chair. Usually when I'm watching the show, I'm very, relax. Watching the show. You watch it so long, you kind of get the ebbs and the flows. And when Jimmy slapped Gunther, slapped him so hard his ancestors felt that. Slapped him so hard his future generation kids are gonna feel that. That popped me, man. Uh, Ready for the Hall of Fame? Absolutely. Happy for Triple H. Looking forward to his speech. What happened to Alexa Bliss? That's the question, right? I think creative ran out. They had to have her with the Wyatt Six, but we haven't seen that come to fruition. I'm thinking after WrestleMania, that's what's gonna happen. No cap, bro. Yeah, no cap. They slapped him back into Walter. That's a fire line. They slapped him so hard, Gunther went back to Walter. That's crazy. Jimmy slap was fire. I think Gunther should retain. Jay's not ready. I could see it go either way, honestly. And I wouldn't be mad. If Jay won, I'd be happy for him. If Gunther won, I'd be happy. I wouldn't be mad at either result. As long as we get a solid matchup and the finish is A, conclusive, but B, just logically makes sense, I'm for it. I think Jimmy Uso is going to come back and help Jey Uso win the title. That's what I think. And I think that's a great guess. I think it's a great prediction. You introduce Jimmy Uso into the storyline, and Jey Uso now has something to fight for aside from a world championship. Maybe the numbers get the best of Jay and Kaiser gets involved. Maybe. If that's the only way I think, though. I don't think Jimmy gets involved unless if someone else is involved. If it's a straight one-on-one matchup, I don't see Jimmy coming in. Kaiser has to get involved. Now, if Jay wins, then I think Jimmy comes out from the back or the crowd or whatever, and they celebrate together. But I think in order for Jimmy to interfere, someone else has to interfere, or maybe Gunther has to try to cheat. We need the Kaiser intro at WrestleMania, the ring general, awesome. Love those two together. A reminder that 7 years ago today, Lesnar throws the title at Vince at WrestleMania 34. Was that today? On the 10th? I don't know. I thought that was more earlier in April. Jimmy probably ran off TV after that beatdown. Yeah, Dion, I think that is correct. That's why we will not see him until WrestleMania. I think he will come at WrestleMania, though. If Jay wins the championship, Jimmy's there. If Jay wins, Jimmy's there. The intro is underrated. Agreed. What do you like about the Heart Singer kit? The Heart Singer kit AEW. I'm out of the loop on that one. Charlotte Flair is the Hogan of the women's division. Tiffany wins. Charlotte doesn't work for me, brother. I'm 100% with you there. I think Charlotte going over is 100% the wrong answer. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. If they want to crown Charlotte Flair as the next champion, fine. But not at WrestleMania. You can crown her on an episode of SmackDown for all I care. SummerSlam, I don't care. But WrestleMania, Tiffany should go over. Tiffany should go over. To have her lose to Charlotte, I think, would just be so deflating. The crowds would completely revolt. They would poo-poo on this thing like no one else. It would be a travesty. It would be a huge mistake to have Charlotte go over. For what? Why would you spend so much time, so much effort in building up Tiffany, having her win the Money in the Bank briefcase, having a great cash-in on January 3rd of this year for that title, only to feed her to Charlotte Flair? And yes, Tiffany Stratton is still young, 25 years old, has her whole career ahead of her. But why would you have her lose to Charlotte just like that? It's ridiculous. It would be asinine to have that happen. She needs to go over. And if she doesn't, I'm going to feel a type of way. Any predictions on surprise appearances for Mania, Hardy Boys? That's a great question. I don't think the Hardy Boys. I think Austin's probably going to be the biggest one. And I don't want to get people's hopes up, but I feel like Austin. Aside from that, I can't see... anybody else. I don't think the Hardys. Gunther choked out Jimmy, Bob Backlund style, crossface chicken wing. Yeah, baby. What do you like about Shelton Benjamin, Bobby Lashley, and MVP? Okay, so when it came to that, it's very interesting to see the interaction between MJF and Bobby Lashley. We know there's a little bit of heat there between the two. Bobby Lashley doesn't want MJF in there, but MVP wants to introduce him there. I kind of want to see it happen. The Hurt Business, or sorry, the Hurt Syndicate, and MJF. I'm very intrigued. Tiffany needs to win to make her not look like a paper champion. You hit it right on the head, Dion. I couldn't have said it better. You want to have some credibility established with Tiffany. You do not have her lose to Charlotte. I think that'd be ridiculous. It diminishes the title, honestly. It does. It does. The Hurt Syndicate should have all the belts, just take over the whole AEW. I'm with you. I would love to see that. And Cedric Alexander was recently released from the WWE. I kind of want to see him in AEW and team up with the Hurt Syndicate and have that group come back together. I think that'd be great. I miss Bobby Lashley in WWE. I do too, but I'm happy for him as well. As long as he's getting his money, good for him. Powerhouse Hobbs should join. Ooh, now that's an idea. Imagine that. Imagine Powerhouse Hobbs. If you thought Bobby Lashley was big, damn. Powerhouse Hobbs would be crazy. Brock comes back and trashes the whole triple threat. Paul walks off with Brock. So, if Brock Lesnar wasn't really excommunicado, and he wasn't, I don't want to say canceled, but this would work. This would certainly work, but because of the whole allegations with Brock, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. If he wasn't involved, though, oh my God, yeah. That'd be a great idea. Hurt Syndicate's the best dressed in wrestling today. They do have them nice suits. And that cane, MVP pimping with the cane. What do I like about Adam Cole as champ? I like Adam Cole. Him winning the TNT title is fun. I kind of would have kept it on Danny Garcia, though, truthfully. But Adam Cole's cool. I hope Brock comes back in Mania. I don't think he is, man. Brock versus Gunther would be awesome. Brock versus Gunther and Brock versus Braun Breaker are my two matches I would love to see. I don't think he's coming back for a while after what happened with Vince. I'm with you, San Fran. I don't. Brock said he's done and retired. We did see that report that somebody taking a picture with Brock Lesnar and had asked him, and he said he's retired. But I mean, hey, never say never in pro wrestling, right? Paul managed RVD, Kurt Angle, Big Show, Brock, Roman, and CM Punk, nothing but greatness. And that's not even taking into consideration that he was with, a young Steve Austin and a young Undertaker. Paul Heyman was always surrounded by greatness. Danny Garcia should be a bigger star. And that's why I was kind of bummed out that he lost the title to Adam Cole, but I'm hoping it opens up an opportunity for him to rise up the card. Maybe he's a main eventer. I'm big on Danny Garcia. I'm a fan. Judgment Day is overdone. Time to disband already. I agree. I think the story has already been told with the Judgment Day. Whatever they're doing now with Dominic and Finn should be the beginning of the end of the Judgment Day. I think Dominic has outgrown that group. He should be his own thing. You can still have him be with Liv and Raquel. It's fine. But I think the Judgment Day is done. I think Finn Balor should be a babyface and be a single star. I don't think he needs to be associated with that group anymore. Their time's done. Paul Heyman is an opportunist, never managed greats like Raven. But did Raven ever need a manager is the question. And I don't know, is Paul Heyman, I'm not going to argue he's not an opportunist. His literal handle is Heyman Hustle. Do you think Jacob and his brother join Roman Reigns? Well, they've already fought. Jacob and Roman. Could they join up? Maybe. But I don't think so, because I don't think they want to have them together. Have them be their own solo stars. Tier list on theme songs, that'd be cool. Just trying to avoid copyright, but that'd be cool. Carlito's the only one holding the Judgment Day together. Ironically enough, that's what R-Truth was doing, and now Carlito fits that role. I think Jacob makes his own bloodline with... Yes, I agree with Dion. We talked about this on a previous live stream. I think he creates his own group. Paul picked the popular guys with pushes most times. And it worked. Zilla's a good option too, except for Curtis Axel. I don't even think that was his call. I don't even think the Curtis Axel one was his call. I feel like they put him on. It just didn't work. Poor Curtis Axel. Sanford and I were just talking about him the other day too. Like where he's at, and I'm like, I don't know. He used to be a producer, like an agent for the matches, and then that fizzled out. Zilla should help Jacob after a beatdown. That'd be cool. Then it'll be a triple threat bloodline: Solo versus Jacob versus Roman. I feel like the obvious answer would be Roman to go over, but I kind of want to see Jacob go over. I think he could benefit more from it. What I like about Zilla, I mean, Zilla has so much promise, so much potential. The son of Umaga, again, another member of the lengthy Anoa'i family, the Fatu family. So much promise, so much potential. I'm looking forward to seeing his work in the WWE. That is. Solo versus Roman, done for good. I think. For now, I mean, they're gonna revisit it, but I do think for the foreseeable future, we don't need it. Zilla and Hendry for the future. And this was just announced. Joe Hendry's going to be in a tag team match at Unbreakable. Him and Masha Slamovich teaming up. I want Heath Slater to win the WWE title just because Jinder and Drew won 3MB. Theme was fire. Isn't that crazy that 2 out of 3 were WWE champions? Should I paint my face like Goldust or Stardust? Stardust. Maybe both. You think Rock versus Roman will ever happen? It has to. If it doesn't happen, that's wild. What a missed opportunity, right? Just bad timing. I think it has to. Yes. I will say yes. The Rock should vacate the People's Championship. That title is fire. Dwayne puts belt on Zilla. Shot. Whoa. That'd be crazy. What I like about Dallas Page and Husky Harris. Those are two completely different. Husky Harris, nothing. I wasn't a fan of Husky Harris. Bray Wyatt, absolutely, but the Husky Harris stuff, no. Absolutely not. Dallas Page, I think, is a saint for his work with Jake Roberts, Scott Hall, and now Lex Luger. Entertaining on the microphone. Great look, great theme song, great finish. I love the Diamond Cutter. It's one of my favorite finishes of all time. Big fan of DDP. I want to see heel Cena versus Joe Hendry. You, me both, network. You, me both. I want to see that matchup so bad. Even if it's just a promo battle, in the ring, I'll take it. But I want to see those two interact. When that Hendry song hit at WrestleMania one day, epic. Whew. He's over like Rover, man. I'd love to see it too. But yeah, like I said, he was going to be at Unbreakable, teaming up with Masha Slamovich against, who was it? It was Kaz, and oh my god, it's going to kill me. It's going to kill me who the other name was. What do you like about Dr. Clown back in the day? I'm in the dark there. Big fan of Joe Hendry. Me too. And I'm so glad he organically got over. Who would have thought we'd live to see a day where Cena is heel and Punk is the face in the same time period? Not me, man. I mean, I'll never forget where I was. Or not where I was, but how I reacted when Cena turned heel, man. To see that face as he's hugging Cody and he keeps that stonewall face. And I remember no. And I look at my brother, I'm like, they're doing it. And he turns heel. Oh, I get chills, man. Who should get the briefcase? LA Knight, Carmelo Hayes, Dominic Mysterio. Those are the 3 guys. Whatever happened to Christian Cage, and have we seen the last of Cope, aka Edge, and Jericho in AEW? No. Cope's coming back. He's going to have a feud with FTR. Maybe even teaming up with Christian Cage. I would not be surprised. As for Jericho, not yet. Yeah. No, they're coming back. Joby in the streets. LOL, real dude. Literally. Dominic IC champ. I'd love to. Fatu as a U.S. champ, absolutely. Yes. I don't know if they win at Mania. I think Jacob Fatu has a better shot of winning. Because with the IC title, I could definitely see it go to Dominic, but there's Penta, you know? What do you like about Doink the Clown? I was never a big Doink the Clown fan. I liked him as a heel. That early incarnation of Doink. Aside from that, wasn't my guy. Dominic should pin Finn. That'd be crazy. Capping off his spear. Yeah, that'd be good. Not a bad idea. I like that. Christian Cage should have led the Death Riders. Fatu might never be WWE champion. I think he'll be world champion. Maybe not WWE champion, maybe world champion. Christian Cage should let the Death Riders. I don't know about that one because it was basically the Blackpool Combat Club, so it makes sense for them to still stick together. No way LA Knight pins Fatu clean. But what if Solo Sikoa gets involved and costs Fatu the matchup? That's one area that I think he could win, is if Solo Sikoa cost Fatu the match. But even then, to have him get pinned would be difficult to see. I think Fatu wins, but again, it depends on if Solo gets involved. Fatu can beat Cody or Gunther. Yeah, Fatu can beat anybody on it. Yeah, I'm with you. Fatu has developed such a good credibility with the audience. It would be believable for him to win the World Championship. Braun got to go after the world title. He should have 2 belts. Wear the Viking chain helmet. Oh, yeah, the, oh my god, what's it called? Chainmail that he wears. But yeah, I do think they're going to do the cliche Intercontinental Championship into the World Championship. It's the stepping stone title. Gunther didn't, and I think Braun Breaker should go after the world title next. Absolutely. I would love to see him as a world champion. Bronson Reed, he is coming back, but we're thinking the summer. If LA Knight never gets the WWE title, Triple H foul. We're running out of time too with LA Knight. I mean, I shouldn't say running out of time, but it's just there's so many talent, man. I mean, look how long it took them to capitalize on that U.S. title. I would love to see it though. That spear to Carlito, dude. Good God. Turned him inside out. I mean, like, dude. He was like like I said, a heat-seeking missile when he went after Carlito. Good Lord Almighty. I think he might have the best spear. And the more believable spear, honestly. Especially when Braun Breaker goes from one rope to the next, then to the next, and he's gaining more momentum. Dude, come on now. LA Knight is getting old. Love him, though. I love LA Knight. That's my guy, but it's like, they got to push him now. Braun equals Sonic the Hedgehog, dude. But it's like Sonic wasn't that strong. He was fast. Braun Breaker's a certified tank. I miss Raw. I was catching up on this series. And yes, agreed. His spear is far more brutal. Rip Ice Show Speed. Dude, I was so against Ice Show Speed being in the Rumble because I thought it was going to take away a spot from the wrestlers. But dude, that spear was ridiculous. It made up for it. I wasn't even mad at it. I'll be going live on Sunday. Next live will be on Sunday night. And on there we'll probably discuss the happenings of Monday Night Raw, the Collision. I'm really using these live streams as more of an opportunity to recap what's going on in the WWE or in pro wrestling, depending where you guys want to go. I think that's where the streams are going to go. As like a recap show and have the opportunity to talk to you guys about it, hear from your perspective and your opinions on the show. And then the video uploads, I think, are going to be the more creative ones, like tier rankings. I just released one earlier this week. It was a top 10 list. It was my favorite WrestleMania main events. If you haven't seen it, please go out of your way and check it out. I want to hear from you guys and your feedback. as to what you thought about the video, as well as some of your favorite main events of all time as well. So yeah, I'll be using these live streams like as a hangout and like a recap show, really. Ellie on the mic can hang with anybody. He can tell stories. He just needs the right opponent. Yep. Couldn't have said it better myself. Rockets versus the Lakers tomorrow and Golden State versus the Blazers tomorrow. We got to get that W. I do not want to fall to the play-in. I really don't. We had a shot to get the 4th seed and we didn't. I don't want to fall into the play-in. What's the first person or first wrestler that comes to your head when you hear the letter C? CM Punk. CM Punk. That's my guy. My top 10 favorite NBA players. Wow. 10 of them. Off the top of my head. I don't even think I can go top. I'll go my personal favorite. So we're going to knock off Stephen Curry. That's my guy. Shaq. This is in no order, by the way, because it's going to require more time. But Stephen Curry, Shaq, Jordan, Kobe, Steve Nash, Klay Thompson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I'll throw in LeBron, Kevin Durant, and that last spot. Wow. That last spot, I'll give it to Magic. And again, that's not in any particular order. If I had to say my favorite basketball player of all time, Steph Curry. If Braun hit Jay with a spear, it's over. Yeet, literally. I wish WWE Superstars had more managers. Yeah, I agree 100%. I think the role of the manager is so vital. You know, it again adds a level of credibility to the star, as well as a mouthpiece for people who aren't strong on the microphone. I think it's a dying art. I would love to see more managers. Want to go to Japan with me and go see New Japan? Down. Anytime with you, buddy. Jordan, Kobe, LeBron, Steph, really good choices there. Derrick Rose, really good. CM Punk is a little generic nowadays, unlike 2008 to 2010, especially 2011, 2013. Still CM Punk, though. That's my guy. Curry, Iverson. Oh, man. How did I not say Iverson? Jordan, Wilt, Magic, Bird. Those are solid. Brian Scalabrini's crazy. Man, Iverson's a good one, though. Brian Lopez, Spanish Mamba. What do you like about Shaq O'Neal? Play Kobe Bryant at Steph Curry. So I grew up during that era with Shaq and Kobe and seeing them go their separate ways, with Shaq going to the Miami Heat, Kobe's Kobe, and then Steph Curry's my guy. So Steph Curry, obviously, because he's on the Warriors, that's my favorite basketball team. He's the greatest shooter of all time, one of the greatest point guards of all time. I think he has an opportunity to be the greatest point guard of all time, but Magic Johnson still above him. Shaq, though, dominant. This guy changed the rules. He changed the way the game was played, a dominant force. In Kobe Bryant, the closest thing we're going to get to Michael Jordan. All legends in their own right. Dude, I'm being thrilled about the Japan trip. I gotta start saving now, buddy. I gotta start saving now. Shaq was a monster from my hood, Newark, New Jersey. Shaquille O'Neal, man. One of the all-time greats. CM Punk, more polished. It's never going to be like that old. Hold on. To be that old, but you definitely get glimpses of that. And plus, I love how Triple H lets him go out there and say what they feel. And Punk is stellar at that, by the way. Yeah, and that's what I love about CM Punk's promo style is it's not really like a wrestling promo. It comes out natural, like he's talking to you, like it's simply him just speaking into the microphone, and it's become so genuine, and I love that about his style. I'm a Bulls fan, and to be honest, I gave up after D Rose's injury. Been out of the loop since 2013. Damn, devastating. Because after that injury, it wasn't the same. And he had glimpses. He had great moments. Like I think it was 2015 in the playoffs against the Cleveland Cavaliers. I believe I think yeah, 2015 he hit the game winner. But oh man, yeah, D Rose. It's a shame with the injury. Hope we get some surprises. I think we will. Tracy McGrady, love the pick. Their network doesn't get enough credit. Vince Carter, Jason Kidd. You're talking about childhood now, man. Why do people say Kobe was the closest to Jordan, but LeBron is better than Kobe? It's because Kobe was able to really replicate what Jordan and his style was. The fadeaway, the defense, the play style. LeBron is like his own thing. He's a small forward that can play the point guard position, and physically he's a phenomenon when he comes to his abilities. I mean, look at him now in year, 22? 23? He's an anomaly. Chris Jericho equals the real best in the world. False. What do you like about Tyson Kidd and Natalya's relationship? That's not for me to say. I personally will say I don't care. Because that's their relationship. That's their marriage. Good for them. If they're happy, I'm happy. LeBron will never be better than Kobe, young brother. I mean, hey, that's what people would say. I think people are entitled to their opinion. It's all preference, really. Kobe took hearts. Animal. Yeah. Lethal. Killer mentality. Kobe on N64. Braun never had a game. Nope. But again, it's subjective. Love that we're getting a little bit of basketball talk here, too. The playoffs just around the corner. April 15th, I believe, is the beginning of the play-in tournament, and then April 19th, the beginning of the NBA playoffs. And I love myself some playoff basketball. The Braun Barbie wearing Jordans. If it wasn't WWE, then what would be the channel be? Originally, the channel was sports. I was talking football and basketball. That's a great question. When I first opened up the channel in 2022, right after I had finished college, and initially it was going to be sports based, so it was going to be basketball, football, and some pro wrestling, and that would be like the gateway of introducing pro wrestling into my YouTube channel. And then over time, it evolved, and it's now gotten to the point where it's pro wrestling. So I feel like it definitely would have been sports related. It was always sports. You guys might hate me about my favorite wrestlers. I like Roman Reigns, Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, Lesnar. No. I'm not going to lie to you, Johnny. That's the last thing I want to do with you. The one that I question is Ryback. Everyone else, I'm fine. But Ryback is the one where I'm like, okay, maybe, I disagree there. But again, it's your list. It's who you like. It doesn't matter what I think or what anybody thinks. It's who you like. Aside from Ryback, though, it's a solid list. Who is the best women's wrestler right now, in your opinion, besides Io? Damn it, Dion, because you knew I would have said Io. Because Io's my favorite. Aside from her... I'm really high on Stephanie Vaquer. I think she has the athleticism. She got the look. Won't lie to you there. Has the potential, has the passion. Very high on her. I think Bianca Belair is another one, who is a natural. But for my answer, I probably would say Stephanie. Zion Williamson would be the new sexual chocolate. Crazy. WWE filed a trademark of the word snackdown. They did file for snackdown, and I'm surprised it hasn't been a thing. Jada Parker would be in my WrestleMania main event next year. You don't think that's too soon? I don't know. It's really soon, I think. But I'm curious to see what she does at Stand and Deliver in that Fatal 4-Way matchup. When does Jacob Henry debut? It's a great question. I don't know. Whenever he's ready, because he's probably going to go through the PC. Obviously, I'm thinking Evolve and then NXT and then eventually making the jump to the main roster if they deem it, appropriate. I haven't seen her work, but solid choice. I heard she is super over right now. Yeah, if you haven't seen her work in NXT, check it out. Her great match with Mercedes Moné at last year's Forbidden Door. Since then, I've been catching up more on her Japan and CMLL stuff. Fantastic worker. I got a question for you. Go for it. Jada better get the belt. Grace is not. She-Hulk. LOL, they gotta stop. I'm thinking Stephanie retains, though. I think it's too soon to drop the belt. But I do think Jada should be getting it at some point. What's your favorite WrestleMania back in the day? And tell me a little bit about it. So I'm biased when it comes to that, Johnny. It's going to be WrestleMania 26 because I was able to attend that show with my dad and my brother. We got to see the matchup between Taker versus Shawn. All-time great matchup. Seeing Ray live. Seeing Triple H fight Sheamus. John Cena versus Batista. Edge and Jericho. A lot of great memories from WrestleMania 26. That's just me being biased, because I was there. Aside from that, I'm very big on WrestleMania 21. WrestleMania 21, because Cena wins, Batista wins, the Money in the Bank matchup was great. Eddie versus Ray, Taker versus Randy, Shawn versus Angle. Take away WrestleMania 26 because I was there, and I love that show very dearly because I was there. It would have to be WrestleMania 21. Every matchup delivered, in my opinion. And if you could just have a time capsule of my favorite time as a pro wrestling fan growing up as a kid, that was it. It was my first wrestling DVD, and it had so many of the wrestlers that shaped my childhood. Eddie Ray, Edge, Taker, Randy, Shawn, Kurt Angle, Cena, Batista, Triple H. It's definitely that one. Awesome question. As soon as the whole world sees Jada, it's a wrap, man. Jada will get the Netflix viewers up, more likely. Favorite cheat meal? I've been lacking. I'm not gonna lie to you, Dion. I try to be very disciplined when it comes to the exercise and the dieting. I don't think I've shared it, but at one point I weighed in at 238 pounds, 238. Point of reference, I'm 5'5". And it got to the point where I had to drop weight and I had to get into better shape. And I was blessed enough through diet and exercise. I dropped 100 pounds. Just consistently staying disciplined, dropping soda, dropping carbs, with the exception of a cheat meal every now and then. And just, honestly, for the lack of a better phrase, just busting my ass. And losing that 100 pounds was one of my favorite, I guess, accomplishments, because it really just set in motion like the discipline that goes with it. And I have so much respect for athletes and for people who are, I guess, I don't want to say bodybuilders, but people who are able to have that discipline, and it really sets in motion. So, and I will say it's difficult to keep up with that discipline, kind of lacking. I gotta get back in the swing of things just so I can maintain and keep it down. But to answer your question, my favorite cheat meal there, I'm old fashioned, man. Give me a pizza, give me a cheeseburger, something like that. I don't really eat out that much, but a pizza and cheeseburger. One of the things that would get me though, ice cream. When I was dropping that weight, ice cream, dude. Oh, I couldn't resist it. I'd change it. Ice cream. Give me a bowl of ice cream. I'm smacking that thing up. I'm tearing it up live. Is Drew versus Priest still happening? They announced it. Yeah, they announced that it will be happening at WrestleMania. Tell me who's your favorite wrestler at Backlash back in the day or SummerSlam. Tell me about it a little bit. At Backlash? I mean, that's very specific. Sorry, I just saw Network. Butter pecan equals cocaine. Butter pecan's fire though, man. I love butter pecan ice cream. Cold Stone ice cream, cake batter. My thing is, it was always cookies and cream. I'm a cookies and cream guy. I'm a fiend for that. Drew's going to kick Priest's head. Yeah, I think Drew McIntyre should definitely go over. What's up with the White Six? They came in hot and now disappeared. Apparently, Uncle Howdy, Bo Dallas, was dealing with an injury. Other than that, I don't know, man. I'm with you, though. I'm not really happy with the White Six's direction. to answer Johnny's question, my favorite backlash, I you know I don't really have one. SummerSlam I could tell you. Again, you're gonna see a bias. 2005 SummerSlam was the first pay per view that we bought as a family. I remember it very well. Hogan versus Shawn in the main event. Taker versus Randy Orton. John Cena versus Jericho, Batista, and JBL. The custody of Dominic ladder match between Eddie and Ray. Edge versus Matt Hardy. That's my favorite SummerSlam for sure. Cookies and cream, yes sir. McFlurry. McFlurry's another one. Oh my god, McFlurry's a great one. I haven't had a McFlurry in a minute because nowadays, where I get my ice cream, I'm simple, dude. I go to Dairy Queen, Sonic. I haven't had Cold Stone in a minute there, but I like getting those. Good for you. Thank you, Gabs. I appreciate that. It's just a matter of keeping it off. That's the toughest thing. I feel like, oh man, no matter how much you lose, there's always that part of you where it's like, oh, you don't want to go back. And so I've tried to do, I think I've done really well keeping it off, but it's tough, man. Just got to stay disciplined. That's all it is. I'm getting a Big Mac this weekend for sure. Big Macs are good. I was more of a hot and spicy guy. I'm simple with the hot and spicies. I think those are fire. But a Big Mac's good. Dairy Queen, legendary. Love it. Love it, man. Cookies and cream all day. That's my go-to. Tell me a little bit more about Money in the Bank. I'm done with your favorites. Money in the Bank. Which one do you like? Edge. Edge winning the Money in the Bank is my favorite Money in the Bank matchup. For sure. You never beat the first one. The original one's the best one. 80-20 diet. 100%. 100%. I had talked to my my actual doctor, my physician, and he was the one I asked. I was like, hey, I want to do this. You're a doctor. It's like, can you give me a little bit of direction? I'm not saying you have to give me the full, plan, but like, what should I hone in on? And he was the one that talked about protein heavy, so a lot of chicken, salmon. I became a big fan of salmon. Dropping the fats. What I would end up doing is I would have a Monday through Friday schedule of where like I would I had my pre-meals. Whether it was like grilled chicken, my rice, veggies, salmon, stuff like that. And then on Saturday, Sunday is when I would treat myself and have, maybe we're having pizza that week. I'll have a couple slices, nothing too crazy. Because there was a point in time when it's like I could finish a whole large pizza by myself. I can't do that no more. My stomach will not, I can only eat like 2 to 3 pizzas nowadays. So, yeah, no, I had to talk to him about it and he helped me get that going. Do I like the rolled up ice cream? I'm more of like a simple like soft served or just with the spoon type of deal. I'm old school. How do you like being a YouTuber and when did you start? I haven't considered myself a YouTuber. That's funny. That's the first time someone's actually asked me that question. I guess. I mean, yeah, I would suppose. Am I technically a YouTuber? I've always just said I'm a pro wrestling content creator. You know what I mean? So it's nice. It's fun being able to interact and connect with you guys through YouTube. I started in May of 2022. That was right after I had graduated college. It's been a long, arduous journey and a lot of different milestones to hit. I'm super proud of the work that we've done here, and there's still so much more work to do. I will say, one, I'm super happy with it. I'm very proud of the work that we've all put in together. But sometimes it can be a little bit overwhelming because you want to be able to produce the best content that you can. You want to be able to come back and still have something to say and have people who care about what you say. So it had become intimidating at first, but over time you become more comfortable and you become more confident in what you're saying. And I'd like to think that the video I had this week 20 times better than the first ever video I had done. And I've seen somewhere like Chris Van Vliet, CVV, one of my favorite podcasters, said that if you don't cringe at your earlier work, then you didn't grow. The point is you want to cringe at your old stuff because it demonstrates that level of growth. And I don't know, that's funny. I've never really considered, or had anybody ask, like, oh, how does it feel being a YouTuber? I guess I am one. Baskin Robbins. I haven't had Baskin Robbins. Do I like boba tea? I've never tried it. Never tried it. Lemon honey salmon in the oven, heaven. I have had it, done that. Yeah. I remember one time my dad showed me the recipe. Yeah. But I'm a simple. I like it grilled. Grilled salmon's cool too. Solid protein, healthy fats, complex carbs, everything balanced. Cucumber with tahini. Oh, tahini. Dude, where were you? Where were you guys when I needed the help in that dieting? I'm trying to get back into it. Calisthenics mixed with weights, you're gonna get super jacked. So the way I had balanced it out was a lot of cardio and weightlifting. Calisthenics, yeah, I mean, I won't say I was a big focus on it, but it was just a healthy combination of everything. I was trying so hard to just stay busy. I was doing portion control. I wasn't eating as much, and whatever I was eating was stuff that was nutrition based. I was getting those healthy fats, the proper complex carbs, and a heavy protein. So, name one way that WrestleMania 41 can be ruined, and one way that can make it fantastic. These are great questions, man. And I want to say I appreciate you guys too for helping carry the conversation and now talking about these like my own history. I never really shared the whole weight loss thing. I'm very proud of that. I like to confuse my muscles. Respect. One way that so Sanford says the big reason 41 can flop is Charlotte winning. I do think that would be a huge flop. Don't have Charlotte win, dude. One way they can ruin it though. Because if Cena and Cody, if either one wins, I don't think it ruins it. I don't. Anybody winning the triple threat match, I don't think ruins it. I think Charlotte is the answer. That would suck for me personally. One thing for me, I don't want them to overcomplicate the main event. Some people have said that there's a possibility of Randy getting involved, Punk getting involved. I don't think they should do that. Cena versus Cody. That's the matchup. For me, a way to ruin it is introducing Punk, Randy. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many different things. Cena versus Cody. Keep it simple. Just because you have the ingredients doesn't mean you got to add to the dish, because then you just lose track of what the original dish was. That's one way it would ruin it for me. One way for it to be fantastic, I don't know. Tiffany winning, all the good guys winning. I mean, not good guys, but like the people we want. Tiffany winning, Jacob winning. I'm still split on Cody versus Cena, man. That one's tough. I just want it to be a good show. Proud of you, Jose. You got this, man. We're all striving towards something. Appreciate that, Dion. And it's 100% true. We all, whether you are trying to pursue something like a channel or personal reasons or a health goal, we all are striving to something just like you said. And I appreciate that very much. You never had Abbott's, and I have not. No, I have not, Muhammad. I can't say that I have. Chicken or beef? I'm going chicken. Love beef, but chicken I feel like is so versatile. I've always said you can have it in a soup. I guess you can do it with beef too, but for me, chicken's just so much versatile, and I'm a fiend for grilled chicken. I lived off of grilled chicken for like 6 months during that weight loss journey. But yeah, no, I'm chicken. Chicken all day, every day. No hesitation. I'm going to keep going live here for about another 5 to 10 minutes, guys. I hate to cut it early, but it's because, like I said, we're working with the work schedule. Things have changed. They got me working more early shifts. Today I was working at 11 to 7. Tomorrow we're going a little bit earlier. So got to be able to catch up on my sleep. It's very important too. I mean, that's another thing too. When you're talking about personal health, sleep. The sleep schedule, you gotta allow your body to rest and recuperate. So, if you're gonna take away one thing from this live stream, forget the wrestling, forget the basketball and the ice cream talk. Make sure you regulate your sleep schedule, folks. Sleep is very important. I value sleep very much. World title versus WWE title. If it's the current iterations, the WWE title. If it's the classic world championship, world championship. You know, but if we're talking right now, I'll go WWE title. WWE title. Look, come on, look at the one behind me. Beautiful. It's a great looking championship. But yeah, so we'll be going live again. John Morrison or Christian? Christian. I'm a big Christian fan. I think he's underrated. I don't think he gets enough love. Christian Cage all day, every day. I love John Morrison, but Christian Cage. We'll be going live again on Sunday evening. Probably going to shoot for the 8 o'clock Mountain Standard Time, our traditional timing. We'll have another video on Monday. And then on Thursday, we'll go live, a special live stream ahead of us. Make sure to give you guys more details this upcoming weekend. WrestleMania, again, is like less than 10 days away. Super excited for that. I want to hear from you guys. Make sure you comment, not only on the stream, but on the other videos as well in the comments section. Some of the things that your favorite or looking forward to at WrestleMania. Spike Dudley or Paul London? I'll go Paul London. But yeah, let me know in the comments below. I very much look forward to these and being able to connect with you guys. It's just great conversation. Like, thank you guys so much for being so welcoming. And Lance Storm all day, every day. And being able to have these conversations, you know, whether it's pro wrestling, basketball, my own personal life. And I've always said, I'm an open book. I'm not going to hide things from you guys. Favorite WrestleMania entrance. Damn. You know, the one that comes to mind immediately, there's so many good ones, but remember when The Undertaker came at WrestleMania 29 and he came out with the slow walk and you can see the people reaching out underneath, like the souls climbing for him. Love it. Owen Hart or Brian Pillman? Owen Hart. I love Brian Pillman, but Owen Hart. Tajiri or Billy Kidman? I'll go Tajiri. Punk or Cabana? Punk. Come on. Punk's my second favorite of all time. Kurt Angle at Mania 22. I wish it was longer. I don't remember it if he had the remix by then. He had the delay beginning. Also, Kevin, what's going on, man? I didn't even say hi. How you doing, buddy? Your car is just at the tail end of the live stream here. We're just about to go off. As we bring a close, though, like I said, on Sunday we'll be going live. Next Thursday we'll be going live. Monday we'll have another upload. I want to give a quick shout out to all our members here of the Main Event Mafia in the stream today. Sanfran 5, Salvi, Johnny, Gabs as well. I know Sylvia was there as well. I remember seeing her name. We want to also welcome our new members of the Main Event Mafia. We had individuals like, if I can find them here. Damn, we have a lot of people in the chat today. I'm scrolling. Tyler was also there. Lucha is live. Mark Deagle, John, Salvi, and Tyler. All welcome to the Main Event Mafia. Appreciate you guys. Sam was also there. I forgot to mention my buddy Sam. Ever had... No, I have not had a veggie burger. I've had a turkey burger. Never a veggie burger. 02 Triple H or 05 Batista? 05 Batista. Again, I grew up on that, so I'm kind of biased. But yeah, we're going to start bringing it to a close here. I want to thank you guys for joining us on another live stream here on Thursday. NXT. I see you, Muhammad. NXT for sure. Thank you guys for joining me on this live today. Appreciate the constant support and always being able to make my day when it comes to these live streams. I look forward to seeing you guys next Sunday for another edition of the J Area Wrestling Show. Next Thursday, more details to come on that special live stream. And of course, our next upload on Monday. Thank you guys for continuing to support this venture and allowing this space to be as welcoming and as positive as it has been for the last year, really. Like I said, we made the pivot to pro wrestling back in March of 2024, and here we are a full calendar year later, and we're still going strong. You guys are the best. I could not do this without you. Love each and every one of you. Can't wait to see you guys next live stream on Sunday. Of course, with that being said, my name is Jose Ramos Jr. All love, and I see you, Dion says, all love will say I came late, but peace and blessings. Blessings to you as well, my friend, and to everybody joining us in the live stream. Everyone, have a great evening. Have a great day tomorrow. A great weekend. We'll see you then. Everyone, be safe. Be cool. Appreciate you guys. Everyone, have a great night.